So you know that old saying that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. My journey to become a portrait photographer began with a sharp crack to the head. Oh, hello, and welcome to my channel. In fact, welcome to the inaugural post on my channel. My name is Warren Shepherd, and I am a portrait photographer based in Toronto. And I hope you're not here just for the gory details on someone's painful misfortune, but maybe to learn a bit about my story. But
you could ask yourself a question.
Why should you care? And that is a very good question. Maybe you're a photographer searching for more effective ways to connect to your clients, to find more meaning in your methods, more heart in your process, more impact in your art. Or maybe you're someone who's looking for a photographer to go beyond the surface, to capture who you really are. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll see why my story is important to the reason you're here today. So let's go back to the beginning.
This is boring. Delete.
Hang on. I swear it's worth it. You see, I've been a creator all my life. I've always had an active imagination.
This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
But I always struggled to find just the perfect outlet to showcase whatever talent I might have.
Don't get cocky!
And I've chased that creativity down many paths over the years, running into many dead ends along the way. Drawing, writing, even dreamt of being an actor once upon a time.
That's a story for another time.
But mostly I love to write, creating stories and characters out of nothing. Living 1,000 lives, all within the safe confines of my imagination. Storytelling was my way of making sense of the world around me. It gave me some semblance of control when life seemed to exist in turmoil. No matter what chaos was around me, my stories were mine to tell, to shape, to master, and to give me comfort. Now, to be an effective storyteller, you've got to be a keen observer of humankind, a student of psychology, and you got to have a black belt in common sense.
You can call it the art of fighting without fighting.
And if you're going to write believable characters, you've got to be able to empathize with them, to embody them, to challenge them, and relate to them. A little did I realize how well these qualities would serve me on the creative journey to come. So let's go back to that fateful day a few years ago. I was working a rather mundane job of medical courier. It wasn't glamorous at all, but it afforded me the mental energy to run a multitude of other more creative tasks in my head while I worked. One day I was on my way to get a coffee, slipped on the curb, and face planted, crack right on the sidewalk. That sound still haunts me to this day. Luckily, I didn't break anything, and there was no apparent damage to my brain. My brain hurts! But I did have a mild concussion, and I couldn't return to work. So during my convalescence, I found I had some free time. Firstly, and not insignificantly, I saw the publication of my science fiction novel. Oh, hello again. You caught me. I was just relaxing with a good book from one of my favorite authors. Oh, that's me. That's a bit awkward. Now that had been a lifelong dream of mine, and one of which I'm very proud to this day. But more importantly, I found I had the time to teach myself something new. With my background in storytelling, it wasn't that much of a stretch to turn my curiosity and imagination to the world of photography. Writing with light instead of words. The internet became my university, YouTube in particular. I had tons of virtual mentors all at my fingertips. There was no subject out of reach. I started with the basics, because you need a solid foundation in the basics. I had always feared subjects like the exposure triangle, ISO, aperture, shutter speed. I never thought I could get my tiny brain to absorb such concepts. But this time I didn't give in. I pushed through. I gave it the time to let it all settle in. And then one day it all just clicked into place. It was like finding the key to a magical kingdom.
Magic.
What had begun as a basic understanding of those core concepts quickly became a full throttle quest to absorb anything I could on the subject. Lenses and lighting, editing, composition, even the mindset of photography, or of being a good photographer. The more I learned, the more I wanted to learn. I drank it all in as fast as I could.
You've taken your first step into a larger world.
But faced with the possibility that I might never return to my job, I had to find a way to monetize my newfound knowledge. I didn't start out with portrait photography. In fact, the idea had always sort of intimidated me. Something about trying to capture the essence of a person and be true to them and not disappoint them, because I didn't want to disappoint anyone. Yeah, it's too much pressure at the time. So I dabbled a bit in product photography, honed my skills in real estate photography, sharpening my composition and editing skills along the way. But it just wasn't enough. Yes, I had to find a way to make money with my new skills, but it just didn't satisfy my creative drive, that yearning I had had since childhood. And let's face it, I'm not a kid. I don't have a lot of runway to get a new endeavor off the ground.
Time is a luxury you don't have.
So if I was going to make a creative career change, I just had to take a leap of faith and do it. Slowly, almost reluctantly, I pushed myself out of my comfort zone to learn everything I could about portrait photography. And with each building block I laid down, the more solid my foundation became, the more confident I became, and the stronger my resolve became to just do this thing that had frightened me for so long. And as soon as I realized how light can shape a subject and set a mood and tell the story of a living soul, the more obsessed with the art I became. Now I don't believe in destiny.
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
But it was as if all my life experiences had culminated in this one genre. My passion for constructing strange worlds from nothing but my imagination, the ability to write credible dialogue and believable characters, my lifetime of observing the human condition in an attempt to fathom why we do the strange and wonderful things we do, my obsession with movies and television and acting, distilling them down to their core elements, and my years of providing excellent client satisfaction on numerous levels. All these facets have brought me to this one point in my life where I can now artfully capture the true essence of someone all through my lens, to tell their story, to explore their truth, all within a single frame. It is an amazing feeling. The world I now inhabit, it's not that different from my writer's playground, but it is a thrilling sandbox to play in. It's always changing, offering new possibilities with every session. It's a world full of passion and emotion and exploration and wonder. And you can't be complacent. You can't stagnate. I continue to learn every day. I push myself to learn every day. It's not hard because it's fascinating and I love it. And the best part is that it's only the beginning. I am at the beginning of my journey. But you're probably still sitting there thinking,
Just what would be in it for me?
and it's still a great question. Anyone with a phone these days thinks they're a photographer. And one search on the internet will unleash a horde of photographers willing to take your picture, often for free, just to build up their portfolio. The truth is, there are as many photography styles out there as there are photographers. But for me, for my style, it all boils down to the personal story. You can have all the expensive equipment in the world and even know how to take a technically proficient photo. But if you don't connect with your subject, the results will be flat and lifeless. My portrait sessions are not cookie-cutter experiences with cut and paste editing off an assembly line. My goal is always to connect to my sitters on a personal level, to build a genuine rapport. I have techniques to achieve this, which I'll cover in subsequent videos. But suffice to say that if I'm going to tell your story through my lens, it's a difference between taking a picture of someone and taking a picture about someone. During a portrait session with me, you're getting something that is real, raw, and you. You'll have my undivided attention where I bring my instincts, my empathy, and my curiosity about who you really are to the table to make sure every final image speaks to your truth. So if I'm going to ask you to share your story with me, I thought it only fair that I share a bit about my story with you. Now the ball is in your court. You know a little bit about me. Let me get to know you. Drop a comment down below, like, subscribe, visit my website to see more of my work and learn how we could create something very special together. And if you want to peek behind the curtain to see exactly how I create, check out this video here. And hopefully, I'll get to tell your story soon. Until then, take care. Be seeing you.